SpongeBob has been on TV for over 2 decades, but not everything made it to air. Some scenes were cut, censored, or changed. But what exactly were in those scenes? Let's find out. Squidward once had a scene in the episode Just One Bite that shocked fans. In the original cut, Squidward sneaks into the Krusty Krab at night to secretly eat a Krabby Patty.
That was too easy. Hey, this isn't water.
At one point, he finds a bucket of gasoline. A robot arm then drops a match into it. The screen flashes with an explosion, and Squidward is caught in the blast. A second explosion follows, leaving him burnt. The version aired only briefly before Nickelodeon removed it from later broadcasts. The reason was safety. The network didn't want kids to see fire, gasoline, and explosions in a way that could be copied. Fans who watched the first airings remember it well, and the deleted explosion is now one of the most famous lost scenes in SpongeBob history. Another strong case comes from procrastination. SpongeBob has to write an essay for boating school. Instead of working, he distracts himself. 3 parts of the episode were removed in American broadcasts. First, there was a moment when SpongeBob looks outside and sees Patrick rubbing suntan lotion on Sandy. This was judged too suggestive and was cut out. The second deletion was more intense. SpongeBob imagines himself driving with his license, and suddenly live-action footage of a car crash appears. That was considered too graphic and scary for children. The third deletion was a short workout scene. SpongeBob did stretches and nose moves that censors thought looked offensive. All 3 scenes stayed removed in the United States but were later restored on DVD and in some international airings. But this isn't it. In Scaredy Pants, the first Halloween special, there was also a deleted joke. The original storyboard showed Patrick pulling down his pants as part of his ghost disguise. Nickelodeon thought this gag was too inappropriate for kids and removed it before the final cut. The rest of the episode remained the same, but the missing joke shows how far the writers sometimes went before being pulled back. Krabby Patty Love was another episode with a lost piece of animation. Originally, there was a quick shot where SpongeBob licks mustard off his fingers in a way that looks too close to licking blood. Nickelodeon felt this was disturbing for a young audience, so the shot never aired. Only storyboard sketches confirm its existence. But in Truth or Square, which was a special episode, a short gag had to be trimmed where SpongeBob was seen walking into a closet filled with live-action footage of fire and explosions. It was meant to be surreal horror, but Nickelodeon cut it because it might be taken the wrong way. Another example is from Someone in the Kitchen with Sandy. This episode had Sandy the squirrel lose her suit, leaving her exposed in public. The original cut had a longer scene of Sandy running around without clothes. Nickelodeon decided it was too risky to leave in, even though she is a cartoon squirrel. The scene was shortened so the joke stayed funny but less extreme. In the famous Sailor Mouth episode, SpongeBob and Patrick learned a bad word written on a dumpster. In the storyboard, Squidward also says a swear word when he stubs his toe. This was drawn and scripted but removed before the final version. Nickelodeon allowed SpongeBob and Patrick to say the bleeped word as a joke, but thought adding Squidward was going too far. Shanghai also had multiple versions. The episode let fans vote who would get a wish at the end, SpongeBob, Patrick, or Squidward. Depending on the broadcast, the ending changed. Some airings had SpongeBob's wish, some had Patrick's, and others showed Squidward's. Later releases dropped the voting format and only kept SpongeBob's wish. This means there are different versions of Shanghai, and some fans only ever saw one version, making the others feel like lost alternate scenes. But here comes the real scary one.
Oh, this place is a nightmare! No.
The episode Red Mist, also known by fans as Squidward's suicide, is a strange case. It was a real storyboard that showed Squidward in a depressed state, with scary imagery. Nickelodeon never aired it, and only parts of the rough storyboard have surfaced online. Some fans mixed fact with rumor, spreading myths about a lost episode. The truth is that the storyboard exists, but the animated version was never completed. In Grandma Kisses, there was a sweet moment cut for time. The storyboard showed SpongeBob and Patrick eating cookies together after SpongeBob was embarrassed by his grandma kissing him in public. Another change in the episode was small but clear. Originally, SpongeBob and Patrick were supposed to have mustaches instead of sideburns. That detail was changed before animation. So in the final version, they had sideburns.
What is it, trusted sidekick?
Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 3 had some trimmed dialogue. Patrick's stuttering was longer, Man Ray sighed an extra time, and SpongeBob called Patrick Starfish in one line. These little parts were cut to make the episode move faster. Some of the lines later appeared in storyboard extras. Have you seen this snail, sometimes called Where's Gary, had one of the darkest ideas.
Run!
The old woman who takes Gary in was originally planned to fatten him up so she could eat him. This plot was replaced with a softer version where she just overfeeds Gary with cookies. The storyboard also showed a closet full of empty snail shells, hinting that other snails had been victims too. That moment was cut because it was too frightening. In another draft, Granny chased Gary with food and offered deviled eggs if he refused cookies. These ideas were toned down or dropped to keep the episode less scary. In Dunces and Dragons, SpongeBob and Patrick were supposed to meet medieval doppelgangers of themselves. In one storyboard, SpongeBob was even shown in bed with Princess Patty, his romantic interest. These ideas were just too confusing and suggestive, so they were removed before animation. The episode instead focused only on the main time travel adventure. Now we all know SpongeBob movies exist, which also have deleted content.
SpongeBob! What's wrong, boy?
In the SpongeBob movie Sponge Out of Water, Mrs. Puff was drawn in an apocalypse outfit. She wore a skull mask, carried torture tools, and threatened SpongeBob with a failing grade. The scene was cut for being too harsh. The same film also had a deleted musical number called Thank Gosh It's Monday. It was even partly animated but removed because the producers thought it slowed the story. Clips survive in DVD and Blu-ray extras. In Something Smells, where SpongeBob eats a strange sundae made of onions and ketchup, the ending originally had Squidward muttering, "Ugly and smelly. 2 for 1," after SpongeBob and Patrick leave. That line was cut for pacing. Early drafts also showed SpongeBob going out to buy every gallon of ice cream in town, instead of mixing gross ingredients. This was changed before the episode was finished.
Mr. Krabs, he said he wants...
And,
The episode Squeaky Boots had some edits too. In its first run, Nickelodeon gave viewers scratch and sniff cards, and no symbol appeared on screen when they should use the card. Later versions removed the icon since the promotion ended. Another change was made for the UK. In British broadcasts, a scene where SpongeBob pressed his face on a hot grill was cut because it showed dangerous behavior that kids might copy. Dying for Pie also had a deleted gag. In the storyboard, SpongeBob asks, "Who's the doctor here, me or you?" while Squidward's heart spurts blood. SpongeBob then patches it up in a nervous panic. This joke was removed before animation because it was too graphic. The final episode still kept the pie bomb story without the bloody detail. Some cuts were made during HD remastering, when episodes like Shanghai were restored for high-definition release. Certain deleted parts returned, while others stayed missing. This means that depending on whether fans watched old reruns, new HD versions, or streaming services, they might see slightly different edits of the same story. These deleted and altered moments show how SpongeBob's team pushed jokes in strange directions. Other times it was just a small pacing change, and that's every deleted SpongeBob scene we could track down. Which one shocked you the most?